Hello and welcome to Norwood News. Today is Friday, September 28th, and I'm your host, Krista McDonald. On Thursday afternoon, a large sinkhole opened up on Manhattan Street in front of the DPW building. We spoke to DPW Director Mark Ryan, who attributed the sinkhole to the following: a A24 diameter metal drain pipe corroded and collapsed. The roadway then collapsed as well. DPW put a new piece of PVC pipe in. The DPW is continuing to patch up the sinkhole and repair Manhattan Street. Last Saturday, the town of Norwood held its biannual Hazardous Waste Day at the Norwood landfill. There were many residents who took advantage of this great recycling program put on by the DPW and Norwood Board of Health. For more, we go to Sigal Reese, Director of the Health Department.
So we're here at a semi-annual Hazardous Waste Day. We collect everything from electronics, TVs, VCRs, dehumidifiers, air conditioning. That's what you see over here in our electronics recycling. And then the other big collection is our hazardous waste, which is way down on the end. And that's any chemicals you might have in your home, pesticides, pool chemicals, certain cleaners, oils, waste oils. We collect that all down at hazardous waste. There's also lots of little collections that we don't offer every Saturday, such as tires, propane tanks, car batteries, and then everything except leaves and brush. All the things that we collect on every Saturday you can also drop off. But I always say don't get in line if you just have bulk material that you can get rid of any Saturday, because we do get quite a line here.
Stacy Lane, Assistant Director of the Health Department, was also in attendance, recycling different types of batteries and bulbs.
Okay, this is the battery recycling and fluorescent bulb station and mercury station. So at this station we collect things. These are recyclable batteries that look like this. Also the button cell batteries, little silver batteries like this. Alkaline batteries, that your normal batteries that you put in calculators and things like that. And then I'm going to show you some mercury here. These are the old thermostats. And here, there's some mercury in there, so we collect those. And all different types of fluorescent bulbs, which are the bulbs that are either the very long 4-foot, 6-foot tubes, or they have the little twirly mercury inside. You can see, you'll know that they have mercury inside by the little twirl on the inside.
We'll be right back after this break to learn all about the new guitar art located around town and for this week's Living Local.
Hello, I'm Barbara Hopcroft.
And I'm Kate Sibbing Dunn. We're with a group called Progress Norwood. We are a member-led group open to all Norwood residents. We focus on activism, charitable and social events with a commitment to inclusive values.
Thursday, October 4th at 7 p.m., we're hosting a talk about voting. We'll explore the topic of making our constitutional democracy work for everyone. We'll bring people up to date on current important topics such as the security and fairness of your vote, including hacking, gerrymandering, and ranked choice voting.
So if you're interested in important issues around our civic duty as voters, we hope to see you there.
Welcome back. Music Drives Us is a nonprofit foundation focused on keeping music in schools. The foundation was started by entrepreneur and musician Ernie Bach Jr. The foundation has just launched its first public art project to promote the arts and music education, Guitarts. These guitarts are white ceramic guitars painted by local and famous artists in the area. Jackie Bell, Director of Music Drives Us, explains.
I am Jackie Bell. I am the Director of Music Drives Us. Music Drives Us is a 501c3 nonprofit. We are dedicated to keeping music in the schools here in Norwood and throughout the 6 states of New England. One way that we are raising money this fall to help keep music in the schools is we have introduced Guitarts. Guitarts is our first public art project right here in Norwood. We have 15 guitars that have been painted by world-renowned artists, local artists, rock stars, and we have them displayed all throughout the town. The display period is now through mid-November, and then on November 15th, they are going to be auctioned off. All proceeds are going to be donated to Music Drives Us, with a portion of those proceeds being donated right back to the town of Norwood and their fine arts department, so that the students here in Norwood can enhance their music education.
Local artist Duncan Reed, who designed one of the pieces, explains what this project means to him.
Because it's all about, getting music into schools, and I'm all for that, because music and theater and the arts are all the things that we put to the test, those things we've learned in all the other classes. So I really feel strongly that they should be included in schools, and so I was all over it.
Thank you so much to Music Drives Us for helping support Norwood Public School art and music programs. Now let's take a look at this week's Living Local.
Are you looking to start your mornings on a healthier note? Look no further than the Juice Bar at Central Market in South Norwood. Located at 1199 Washington Street, the Juice Bar serves up a wide range of healthy options.
Well, it's very important to have a very healthy diet, and I know that sometimes we don't have the time. So it's good to know that you have here in Norwood a juice bar, that you can have your fruits and vegetables all incorporated in a yummy drink.
Owner Marcielli Pastorio bought Central Market from its previous owner 5 years ago. Originally, the market was located at 1060 Washington Street.
Over there we stayed for 3 years, and then I decided to grow a little bit, and we rented down here. So we came here, and after a year and a half, almost 2 years, I decided to incorporate the juice bar.
The inspiration for the Juice Bar came while on vacation in Aruba.
We went on vacation and I said, I need my juice. How am I going to get my juice at a hotel? So I researched and I found a juice bar down in Aruba, and I went there every day. And the last day we were there, I was just like, you know what? I have everything these people have. I'm going to open up a juice bar. So I came back, did research on how to open, what to do, if we had anything around, and within a month or so, bam, we did it.
Although there are a lot of options on the menu, there are a few that are clear-cut favorites.
Fruits and oats, it's one of the top sellers. Tropical, which is delicious, it tastes like a popsicle. Green Islander, it's unbelievably refreshing and delicious. So all of those three are my popular ones, but every single one of them is good.
The store itself has a lot more to offer than just the juice bar.
We are a Brazilian Spanish market with a coffee shop and now a juice bar in it. So we sell anything from Brazilian cheese, Spanish cheese, to Brazilian cake that we make here, all the cakes and the desserts. We have the Brazilian coffee, which is a strong coffee. It's nothing like, other coffees that you drink around. So I think that every component of the store itself is unique.
Pastorio hopes that Central Market continues to be part of the Norwood community.
I am from here now. I live in Norwood. My kids go to Norwood School, and I like to think that the people from Norwood should know that we are more than just a store or a juice bar. We are part of the community. We are part of Norwood.
Thanks, Marcielli. Stay tuned after this break to find out what's happening in your local government. Welcome back to Norwood News. The Board of Health returned from their summer break on Monday, September 24th. The board reviewed old business and discussed new business, including the main topic of the meeting, which was the new Norwood Institutional Biomedical Committee.
The part of the regulations involve a community aspect, community involvement aspect. The whole point of the regulation is to review the containment, from everything from what's their containment during the lab, waste disposal, things like that, of the biologicals.
Well, should there be, besides just one Board of Health member, should there be some environmental specialist involved in this?
Well, I sit on it as the director, and then our committee, our regulations call for a Board of Health member and then a community member.
Okay.
But they have all the experts at the table also, which will be informing us of their policies and programs.
And we're going to change the policy for the town of Norwood?
We don't change it, no, we.
We're going to make recommendations?
Yeah, I mean, the committee decides and reviews the policies.
Because,
I'm sorry, like the establishment's policies, not these.
because there's one coming to Norwood, is that why we're looking into
Yes,
this right now?
it's for Moderna.
For Moderna?
Yeah,
Okay.
it really hasn't been activated.
And how often will the committee meet?
Probably just annually.
The Board of Health's next meeting will be on October 22nd at 10 a.m. On Monday evening, the Planning Board met in Memorial Hall to make a decision on 84 and 95 Moore Street. As you may know, this has been an ongoing case for the Planning Board. About 1 hour into their meeting, they opened up the meeting for public input. One of the main concerns of the public was the width of the street and trucks being able to make the tight turn onto Moore Street.
It'd be directed to you. At the bottom of Moore Street near Route 1, is that the same width as coming up to the top of Moore Street? The reason why I ask is when I watch the car carriers exit from the bottom of Moore Street where the new TU is, when they're coming out, they have to ride up on the berm to make the radius in order to get the back end of that trailer to make it and go down.
Selectman and South Norwood resident Helen Donahue sparked a debate with Michael Clemmy, Vice President of Bach Enterprises. Donahue also wanted to point out the width of the bridge that goes over Neponset Street and her concerns about the latest set of plans.
This plan that you have, you submitted at the beginning of your presentation tonight. Papers were passed over to the planning board. With the plan that you just described, was that in those papers?
Yes.
So for the record, the planning board is seeing this plan that they have to vote on tonight while you're making the presentation?
I've had 2 meetings with
No, take the microphone. Excuse me, I'll answer that, Jim. I know you did, Mrs. Donahue. We've been working with the town engineer since June. This is September.
I asked the engineer.
And he works for me, okay? So he has been working with your town engineer tirelessly, and the town engineer has asked to do different changes to make this plan better and continue to make it better. And so we met with him again this morning, and I was there at 8 o'clock with your town engineer. And he had suggestions to improve the plan. And so Jimmy had worked on it today, and we just gave the modified plans to the board from suggestions from the town engineer, and I believe this board relies on your town engineer.
3.5 hours into the meeting, the board closed the public hearing, and Ernie Pachakowski made a motion to approve 84 Moore Street.
I make a motion for approval, and I'll speak on the motion.
Do I have a second?
Second.
On that, I have a second. I have a second. Are there any further discussion? I have a motion and a second, and we can vote on that now. All in favor, say aye.
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 One more question.
Opposed?
Did the sewer drain get in the conditions?
Yes.
Okay. Sorry. I missed them.
Are you aye?
I'm an aye.
Opposed? So that's a 5-0, is that correct? Opposed. One opposed. So it's a 4-5 decision. 4-1, excuse me.
The next planning board meeting has not been scheduled. On Tuesday afternoon, the Townwide Facilities Committee met in the Robert Thornton Conference Room at Town Hall. David Hajar began by discussing the needs at the Morrill Memorial Library. After the brief library discussion, the board discussed the October packet that they plan to present to the different boards and committees around town.
So my thinking was that, we'll have the packets to them a week ahead of time so that they have enough time to review, trying to give them the key documents. I may not include the vendor service list. I don't think that's really a key document. But certainly all the information about staffing and cost and timelines under number 1 is important. I think they need to understand that we're trying to identify a facilities assessment for each building, so they need to know that. Ground and snow, we're trying to Again, make sure that all the requirements are identified so that if this does move forward, we're not reinventing the wheel. The person in charge has all that information and can hit the ground running.
The next meeting for the Town-wide Facilities Committee will be on Tuesday, October 16th at 4:30 in room 24 of Town Hall. Tuesday evening, the Board of Selectmen held a joint meeting in their chambers with the Planning Board and Zoning Board of Appeals. The joint meeting was scheduled to discuss how the town should take some measures of amendment, relaxation, or correction of the zoning in the commercial business district zones of town. Patrick Mulvihill, Chair of the Board of Appeals, explained why this is necessary to the downtown area.
I think this is a unique opportunity for the town as a whole to look at something like our zoning bylaw and what Mr. Halkiotis will dive in on, to relax some of the standards and maybe get rid of some of the variance criteria, which is a very high bar to hit, and maybe transfer it over to a special permit criteria and really look at this thing, because as I said to the chair in different conversations prior to this meeting, our uptown needs help.
Town planner and economic developer Paul Halkiotis explained that current zoning does not allow for mixed-use buildings in the downtown area, but that the dwelling unit-to-acre ratio does not allow for a good investment.
Right now, what our bylaw allows in the central business district is 10 dwelling units per acre. And that is part of the problem, where it's not enough density to get a building owner to want to reinvest, to put an addition, or for a property owner to decide that, this building may be tired, time to tear it down and rebuild, but that density doesn't provide enough return on the investment for someone to make that kind of investment.
Selectman Plasko brought up that this has come before town meeting in the past, and it was just shy of passing.
And we tried to convince the town that this is the way you needed to go, that this was happening everywhere around the country. This is the way to bring back downtowns and for the town to progress. Now we see it happening, as you say, Islington, Dedham, Westwood, Needham, every community around, Walpole right now going like crazy. And this is just the future, and it's where to go. This is where people are looking to live.
The next Board of Selectmen meeting will be Tuesday, October 2nd at 7 p.m. On Wednesday afternoon, the Airport Commission met in their conference room at Norwood Airport. To start the meeting, representatives from Du Bois and King presented their two current projects to the Commission. The first project presented was an overview of the master plan. Then the discussion moved to the construction at the airport.
The second project we have going, if you guys haven't noticed, is construction, the realignment of Taxiway A on the south end. We've reclaimed all of the pavement on Taxiway that's going to be realigned. We've done working in the mitigation area for the wetlands. Tomorrow we're going to begin in earnest with really excavating. We've got approval from the Army Corps now to actually excavate in the wetland areas and begin moving that material out. We're 7 days in. We've got about 53 days left on the contract. So far everything's going pretty well. We've also begun work in the mitigation area for the porous pavement, which is the overflow parking lot. That's Dave Spiegel's lot. And today we're actually excavating most of the material there in preparation for installing all the select materials that go under porous pavement.
The next Airport Commission meeting has not been scheduled. On Wednesday night, the Community Preservation Committee held a Q&A in the Police and Fire Community Room explaining the Community Preservation Act project application process and schedule. The presentation covered the plan moving forward and the costs that would be associated with it. The committee was in attendance along with community members. The next meeting for the Community Preservation Committee will be Wednesday, October 10th. To watch complete government coverage, tune into the MCM Government channel or watch it on demand at norwoodcommunitymedia.org. Stay tuned after this break to find out what is happening in your schools. Welcome back. Now let's toss it over to Tim Rose to find out what is happening around the Norwood School District.
Hi guys, thanks for joining me for another update on events and activities happening around our Norwood school community. During the week of September 24th to the 28th, hundreds of schools and youth organizations across the United States participated in Start With Hello Week to teach the skills needed to create a culture of inclusion and connectedness, and encourage them to reach out to and include those who may be dealing with chronic social isolation. Start With Hello Week raised awareness about social isolation and educates students and the community on how to prevent it. The Norwood schools were all in, and let's go to the Coakley Middle School and hear from Principal Margot Frasick.
At CMS this week, we're celebrating Start With Hello Week as part of a district initiative that's also a nationwide practice. What Start With Hello does, it's part of the Sandy Hook Foundation, and they're really trying to educate students about recognizing social isolation. First, we work with the students about what does that look like, what it might look like at our school, and have they ever noticed a student feeling in that way? Have they ever felt that way themselves? Each day we do a different little challenge. We had our challenge on the first day was to say hello to somebody you've never spoken to before. On Tuesday we had students say 10 compliments, 5 to a friend, 5 to people that they don't speak to all the time. On Wednesday we're doing a mix-it-up lunch, and then Thursday and Friday we have a couple additional challenges as well. So each day we're celebrating inclusion, we're celebrating bringing kids together, making our school a truly inclusive place for everyone to participate. Tuesday afternoon we had a series of assemblies brought to us by the Sandy Hook Foundation and the Start With Hello project. Our speaker was James Rainey, who was fantastic, really talking to the kids with the message of if not us, then who? If not now, then when? Really encouraging our students to say and do things that will help make Coakley Middle School a more inclusive place.
The Prescott School also participated in Start With Hello Week. The Prescott students engaged in courageous conversations around standing up for what they think is right, even when it's not popular, and what it means to be a bystander. All students and staff also signed a pledge to show their commitment to being inclusive. Finally, they participated in Hay Day and wore name tags and greeted each other by name. They capped off the week by wearing green in support of Start With Hello Week and having their first mix-it-up lunch, where kids had the opportunity to sit with people who they don't normally sit with at lunch. While this was just 1 week, the Prescott community is committed to carrying this message through and acting on their beliefs. Students and staff at the Callahan participated in the Start With Hello Week. The week started with an all-school assembly where students stated hello in their native languages. This was followed by each student signing a pledge to say hello to someone who may be sitting alone. In addition, the Callahan staff and students participated in an all-school safety evacuation drill with the assistance of both the police and fire departments. Police officers interacted with students during recess. The highlight was when police officers handed out photo cards depicting each officer. At the Balch School, the 3rd grade has been working on getting to know each other better by completing a project called Me Bags. Each student chose 5 small items that were special to them to put in his or her Me Bag. The students then presented their bags to the class and explained why the items they chose were important to them. Everybody had a great time getting to know each other better. The Balch, in coordination with the Norwood Police Department, held a safety drill in which the students needed to evacuate the building and move to safe sites off campus. The students were well prepared by their teachers and took the drill seriously. There was a question and answer period following the drill with the principal and the police officers answering questions. The collaboration between the police department and the schools has been great. Every September, the Cleveland School goes Dotty for Dots. Dot Day is a global initiative that celebrates risk-taking, creativity, and the imagination. All week, the Cleveland has been participating in activities for the Start With Hello program. On Wednesdays, Mix It Up Day, students were asked to sit next to someone new at lunch. Let's take a look. Norwood High School also participated in Start With Hello Week, and activities were planned all week, including a warm welcome for all the students on Monday morning. Special messages were placed on all of the lockers to help kick off the week. Additional activities included Random Acts of Kindness Bingo, a human scavenger hunt, and Photo Booth Friday in the cafeteria. Little Mustang's Preschool Academy has been learning all about apples this week. The children enjoyed reading stories about apples like 10 Red Apples and Dr. Seuss's popular book, 10 Apples Up on Top. They practiced their balancing skills by trying to walk with apples on their heads, just like the animals in the story. They learned the faster they walked, the shorter distance they could balance the apple. The children also enjoyed painting with apples as well as playing some roll and count math games. After talking about the different colors of apples, the children did a little taste test to see which color apple was their favorite. Who knew learning about apples could be so much fun? How do you like them apples? Well, that's it for school news. For more information around the district, please check the website, Facebook, and watch Norwood Community Media. As always, thanks so much for your continued support of our school community. Now let's go to Mike Maloof with the latest sports news.
Thanks, Tim. Last weekend, the football team dropped another contest, 28-6, against a strong Hopkinton team. On Monday, the field hockey team fell to Walpole 2-0, and the golf team lost yet another match by one stroke, losing to Hopkinton 241-240. Tuesday's heavy rain caused cancellations to the golf match and the boys' soccer team. The girls' soccer team toughed out the weather and lost to Medway. Wednesday, both volleyball and cross-country lost their matches to Norton and Holliston, respectively. Thursday, the boys' soccer match was postponed due to field conditions, and the golf came away with the win over Medfield, while girls' soccer fell short against Hopkinton. At the college level, NHS alumni and Stonehill Skyhawk Casey Smith was named NE10 Field Hockey Player of the Week for the third time in 4 weeks. Also, alumni sisters Sammy and Coley Hayes faced off against each other on the field hockey field when Bridgewater State took on Worcester State. Sammy's Bridgewater State Bears snuck out the 2-1 win against the Worcester State Lancers and younger sister Coley. That's all for sports. Now back to the desk.
Thanks, Mike. On Monday night, the members of Progress Norwood hosted a primer on Norwood civics at the Morrill Memorial Library. The goal of the night was to share information to the residents and try to get more people involved in town politics.
Hi, I'm Kate Sibbing-Dunn with Progress Norwood, and tonight we had a talk on Norwood civics, just to give a refresher or a really quick primer to those who may be new to town. The goal is, and the idea was, to just sort of share some information and get people involved in town politics, to know that we can all make a difference, and towns and governments work better when we all share our voice.
Thanks, Kate. Make sure to follow Progress Norwood on Facebook to receive all the updates from the organization. Throughout this weekend, the Collings Foundation Wings of Freedom will be at the Norwood Airport. On display will be a B-17 Flying Fortress, a B-24 Liberator, a B-25 Mitchell Bomber, and a P-51 Mustang. The aircrafts will be available for both walk-through tours and rides. For more on this event, we go to Director of Veteran Services, Ted Mulvihill.
Hi everybody, this is Ted Mulvihill from the Town Norwood Department of Veteran Services. We're here at Norwood Memorial Municipal Airport for the much anticipated arrival of our World War II bomber and fighter aircraft from the Collings Foundation. And behind me you can see, before I fly away, behind me you can see a B-25 Mitchell heavy-duty bomber, and to my immediate right we'll show some footage in a second of a P-51 Mustang fighter plane. These are tremendous pieces of history. They're actually living history. Both planes are over 70 years old and were instrumental in our victory in World War II, particularly in the European theater. The impact of aerial warfare was underappreciated and undervalued at the start of World War II, but gradually as time went by, the 8th Air Force came to prominence in Europe with their bombing runs, and actually turned the tide in World War II and permitted us to have victory over the Axis powers. We're anticipating the arrival of a B-17 Flying Fortress and a B-24 Liberator as well. The Collings Foundation will have these aircraft down here at the airport until Monday. Monday morning they'll be heading out to their next stop. So I encourage everybody, once the weather gets better, to come on down and take a look at these amazing, amazing aircraft. They're pieces of history that shouldn't be missed. So everybody enjoy your weekend, and we hope to see you down at the airport.
Thanks, Teddy. Make sure to head to the airport for this great event. Well, that's all for Norwood News. To stay up to date with Norwood Community Media, check us out on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. As always, thank you so much for watching. Have a great weekend.